Johnny Depp and the Ridley Scott Unveil Hyde at SDCC 2025, a dark reimagining of the Gothic legend. San Diego Comic-Con SDCC 2025 will be remembered for the many headline moments, but the few reveals that match the sheer star power and the intrigue of the announcement that Johnny Depp and the legendary filmmaker Ridley Scott were joining forces to bring a new vision of the Hyde to the life. The project, a bold interpretation of the Robert Louis Stevenson's timeless classic strange case of the Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde. It is not just another adaptation, it is a multimedia venture blending the graphic storytelling, collectible culture, and the possibility of the future film development, with the Depp shaping the central character and the Scott-free productions attached to the oversee its creative trajectory. Hyde immediately become one of the most talked about the projects of the Comic-Con in the 2025. This new style feature takes a closer look at what was the unveiled in the San Diego, what it means for the Depp and Scott, and why Hyde is shaping up to the landmark project in the modern Gothic storytelling. On the past Friday afternoon of the SDCC, the convention flood buzzed with the speculations. Rumors has swirled for the weeks that Johnny Depp was planning to use the Comic-Con stage, announces a new project, but the few expected the surprise collaboration with the Ridley Scott. The reveal came with a specially cut teaser trailer of the Hyde. The footage did not give away much in terms of the plot, but it showcased the raw and atmospheric artwork of the upcoming graphic novel against a backdrop of the gaslit London street shadow. Filled spheres, the looming figure of the Hyde emerged, the portrait with the Depp's unmistakable creative influence. Fans attending the panel were handed a limited edition, a part preview booklet showcasing the early pages of the comic. Each copy came stamped with a QR code linking to the Vivi, the digital collectibles platform, where the attendees could unlock the digital poster prior to the project. This combination of the old school comic convention giveaway and the high-tech blockchain marketing highlighted the hybrid strategy behind the Hyde. By the time the panel ended, hashtags like Johnny Depp Hyde and hashtag like SDCC 2025 Hyde were trending across the social media platforms, commenting the project as one of the weekend's most buzzworthy announcements. What Hyde is about? Unlike the traditional adaptations of the Jekyll and the Hyde, which focus on the internal struggle between the good and the evil within one man, this reimagined the story begins after the Dr. Jekyll has already been defeated. Hyde is no longer restrained by his gentler alter ego. He has fully taken control. According to the Jesse Negron, creator of the original Hyde concept at the Mechanical Cake, the narrative dives into the Hyde twisted experiments. He creates the new Hyde variants, recruiting or the manufacturing others like himself to expand his reign beneath the London spheres. The story is the brutal psychological, and the deeply Gothic leaning heavily into the horror themes rather than the moral parables. The series is planned as the two graphic novels volumes, each split into the two chapters with a full saga planning spanning more than the 200 pages. For the Johnny Depp, this was an opportunity to fully immerse himself in the character building process, rather than simply lending his likeness or serving as an inspiration. He is actively involved in the crafting Hyde's personality and appearances and the narrative arc. Depp's creative involvement was one of the headlines takeaway from the SDCC 2025. After the years of the iconic but often the studio drives roles from the Captain Jack Sparrow to the Mad Hatter, Depp's work on the Hyde allows himself greater autonomy. Sources close to the project explain that Depp is working with the artists and the writers at every stage, ensuring that the Hyde's readers meet on the page reflects his own vision of the character. This creative input spans the costume design, physicality, dialogue, and even the thematic direction in the trailer. Hyde broke a striking resemblance to the Depp's own penchant for the eccentric, tortured character, but delved into a much darker register. Gone was the mischievous humor of the Jack Sparrow. It is just place where was the something closer to the Gothic horror, raw, unhinged, and terrifyingly human. Depp himself spoken briefly at the panel, saying Hyde is a character who has hunted literature for the more than century. What fascinated me was the imagining that what happens after the jackal disappears when the Hyde no longer has to share the body when he is free. It's frightening but also strangely liberating. That's where the story begins. For the fans, Depp's remarks confirmed that this was not a cameo project; it was a labor of the love. Ridley Scott's involvements add another layer of the prestige to the project. Through the Scott-free production, Scott is not directly writing or illustrating the graphic level, but his appearance ensures that the Hyde has the cinematic ambitions baked into its DNA. Scott has long been a master of the blending genre storytelling with the atmospheric world building from the aliens catastrophic. His eye for the production design and the ability to ground the extraordinary in the gritty realism make him a natural fit for the property like the Hyde. Industry insiders suggest that while Hyde is launching as a graphic novel first, Scott's role could pave the way for a live-action adaptation down the line, given his history for the suffering and the projects from the page to the screen. Few doubt that a film series version of the Hyde may already be under the consideration. The marketing approach for the Hyde was not as the creative detail as handling and out the physical preview copies was a nod to the classic comic conversation and the convention tradition, building the grassroots buzz among the attendees. Collectors immediately began trading the actions online, with some fetching high resales and the values by the end of the weekend. By linking each action to the vivid digital poster, the project positioned itself at the intersection of the comic and the digital culture. Fans who scanned the QR code could claim a unique collectible blending fandom and with the blockchain-powered security. The fans' reaction at the SDCC was electric. Many long-time comic readers appreciated the Gothic artwork and the bold narrative departure from the original Stepson tale. Horror fans welcomed the darker tone, comparing it to the modern pastiche horror films like The Witch or The Hereditary. Meanwhile, the Depp's fan base flooded social media with excitement after the years of the career turbulence. Many saw Hyde as a creative comeback for the actor, proof that he could still command the cultural spotlight without relying on the Hollywood blockbusters. Some skepticism lingered around the digital collectible tie-in, with a portion of the fans wary of the NFTs and the blockchain-based marketing. However, the majority viewed the VV collaboration as an innovative way to merge Comic-Con culture with the cutting-edge tech. Industry analysts noted that the announcement signed a growing trend of the high-profile Hollywood talent moving into the comic mediums, graphic novels, and the increasingly seen as a fertile ground for the intellectual property that can later expand into the film, streaming series, or the video game. With both Depp and the Scott attached, Hyde immediately positioned itself as more than just a comic. It became a multimedia property in the waiting. Studios and streaming platforms were reportedly circling the project even before its Comic-Con reveal. As one trade journalist put it, when you have Johnny Depp shaping a character, Ridley Scott overseeing the vision, you are not just looking at the graphic novel, you are looking at the potential at a franchise incubator. While no official announcements were made about the film or streaming adaptations, the writing on the wall is clear. With the Scott-free productions involved, the infrastructure exists to pivot Hyde into the cinematic property quickly if the graphic novels resonates with the audiences. The Hyde launch, the strategy also suggests that the Hyde could become a long-term brand. From the physical comics to the digital collectibles, from the convention exclusives to the potential films, it is designed to evolve across the multiple platforms. For Johnny Depp, this represents not just another role, but the chance to redefine his career in the space where he has the more control. For Ridley Scott, it is another opportunity to shape a visually rich, thematically layered story into the existence. The unveiling of the Hyde at the SDCC 2025 is more than a pop culture headline. It is a signal broader shift in the entertainment landscape. Hollywood meets comics. Top-tier filmmakers and actors are no longer waiting for the studios to option the comics they are creating theme. The combination of the actions and the VV collectibles reflects how the fandom now spans both the physical and the digital worlds, with the horror and the gothic themes enjoying resonance in the streaming and the cinema. Hyde arrives at the perfect culture moment. Johnny Depp and the Ridley Scott's Hyde was the defining announcement of the SDCC 2025, part Gothic horror, part multimedia experiment. It represents the fusion of the Hollywood star power, comic book storytelling, and the digital age marketing. By starting with the graphic novel, Depp Scott even have the freedom to craft story unbounded by the studio interference, while making the door wide open. Future adaptations, whether or not Hyde eventually reaches the big screen, it is unveiling the marks a turning point in how stories are created, marketed, and consuming in the 21st of the century. For the fans of the allure is simple: a chance to see Johnny Depp inhabit one of the literature's most infamous monsters under the watchful eye of the Ridley Scott. For the industry, Hyde is a blueprint for the future of the storytelling. Guys, if you find this video is interesting and enjoying, then you have to subscribe my channel and also have to like the video and share the video with your friends. Wishing you a very best of luck and nice time ahead.